Howdy folks, I wanted to do I guess I would call it a longevity review of my F250 2005 Powerstroke turbo diesel, the 6-liter. Just wanted to think through what has gone, what I've had to fix, different things like that. Just to give you guys an idea what, if you're in the market for this type of truck, looking for this type of truck, what things can you expect to have to fix? We talk about the engine all the time. How I've talked about how I think the 6-liter Powerstroke is a very reliable engine. That is true, but everything around the engine is still suspect to break, to need fixing. So I just wanted to give a few things, things that I've remembered having to fix, and but hopefully that helps people. That's what I'd like to do, is just give some warning. I am not at all complaining about the truck, not at all. Every vehicle you drive is going to have things that you have to fix eventually. I just wanted to give you some ideas of where this happens. My truck is right around the corner from turning over the 200,000 mile mark. We're very close. And that being said, there are things that are starting to break, as you well would think. Not as much as my last truck, which was on the verge of turning over 300,000 miles, which is substantially more, and substantially more was breaking and needed fixed. So we'll just get into it. One of the first things that I replaced were the wheel bearings. Not the rear wheel bearings, the front hub assemblies. They were going out. There were a couple factors that went into that, so they might have had more longevity, but because of things that I didn't know, I'm not claiming to be a professional, like a professional hauler, or someone who works with their truck professionally, I guess is what I'm saying. I've had a truck for a while, but I miss things, obviously, and I hadn't had the truck very long. I did both of my front wheel bearings and both of my front locking hubs. So I'll start in the first thing, the thing that I think caused both things. On a lot of Fords with 4-wheel drive, heavy-duty pickups, you have automatic / manual locking hub system, and it's a nice system. It usually works well, but in my opinion, the system is not well made. That being, well, the reason why I think that is because when I took the hubs out, the locking part of my truck, the innards were all plastic. The gears themselves were not plastic, but the retaining portion was all plastic. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't give me warm fuzzies. Not at all. I replaced them with worn locking hubs, sort of an industry standard, something that's trusted. All metal components. Very happy about that. But when those hubs went out, the needle bearings that are in there to float when it's not locked, they were all chewed up and gummed up and were all over the place, really. And it wasn't holding the axle, the drive shaft in the axle. It wasn't holding that steady, so it was moving around in there, and I think that's eventually what caused the there's a bearing there, and there's a secondary bearing in the hub assembly itself, You have your main wheel bearing, and then you have another bearing, and that works with the locking hub bearing to keep that axle, the spline area there, keep that solid. So the inner one had gone out, the one on the locking hub, and I think that caused that secondary bearing on the hub assembly to go out. So I had to replace the hub assembly. That was exciting in itself because I couldn't find a snap ring, a set of snap ring pliers that would reach all the way back in there. And I noticed that I needed new bearings while I was in the middle of a 16-hour trip. I sat in Provo, Utah for a while on the way from Camp Grace to Camp Ironwood because I really wanted to get that fixed, but I couldn't find the tool. So I ended up having to put it back together and limp all the way to Camp Ironwood with my wheel bearings howling at me. Praise the Lord, they weren't the main wheel bearings that had gone out. I don't know what would happen if that were the case. Caught fire or something, I don't know. Very thankful it wasn't that, but that's one of the things that went out on me. And I don't know if I could have avoided that, if I had did better maintenance on it. Like I said, I hadn't had the truck very long. Anyway, I'm taking a long time on that one thing, but there's a couple other things that I wanted to mention. Something else that's gone out is the radiator. I got dirt and stuff like that, junk in the bottom of the radiator where the crimps are that connect the aluminum main part of the radiator to the plastic reservoirs. And I don't, well, it might have been that, or it might have been a rock that was launched at the radiator and caused a hole. I'm not positive exactly what happened, but one of those two things happened, and it went out. And I've heard other Powerstroke 6.0 owners saying that's about the time when theirs went out also. So I feel confident saying that's something that's going to go out for a 200,000 mile truck. I would recommend putting in a all aluminum radiator. I sort of went the cheap route and did a knockoff brand aluminum radiator, but it's working fine for me, so I don't feel bad. A lot of people would say the only way to go is a Mishimoto. And yes, if you have the moolah and if you're towing all the time, that's what you want to go with. But I don't tow that often. I do tow. When I do, it's for a long distance. But I didn't feel like I needed that Mishimoto, and it's a lot more money. It's like $900 instead of the $300 or $200 I spent. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's significant. And let me finish the other things I wanted to mention because it's starting to get dark here in the Mojave Desert, and I'd like to be able to, you guys to be able to see the scenery while I'm talking here. Let's see. Egr Cooler. That's something that all 6.0 Powerstrokes struggle with, is that system. The truck that I have here is deleted already, so I don't have to worry about that, but I figured I'd mention it. Also, the oil cooler, that's something that likes to go out, and then, in my case, what actually went out was the little hose between the Egr cooler and the the oil cooler and the Egr cooler. That hose went out on me and started leaking. So that's why I dug in there. I have a video about that. I dug in there and replaced that stuff. So Egr cooler, oil cooler, and then I think I'm going to have to replace at least some seals on my power steering gearbox because it's starting to leak. I have to do some more investigating, but I figured I'd mention it. I think that's leaking. If you think it might be something else in there, maybe a hose or something else, please make a comment about that. I would love to hear those things. Also, if you have any other insight of things that went out on you for your 6.0 Powerstroke, please comment. Tell me all about it. I want to know. I'm going to have this truck for a while. I'm looking forward to it, but I also like to know what I need to look forward to. Well, need to look out for. That would be a blessing to me. Also, if you enjoyed and thought this was helpful, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and then share the video if you really liked it. That would be a huge blessing. I hope, again, this is helpful and enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of view that I get to show you right now. Maybe another view another time. Catch you all next time.